Straight ahead on CCX News, a crime lab controversy, the possible merger that has the Hennepin County Sheriff and other police chiefs speaking out against. Plus, a possible move for a prominent city festival, why Tater Daze could soon have a new home. And later, how a Golden Valley school is taking the mystery out of computer science. CCX News starts right now. Hello, everyone, and thanks for joining us. Two Hennepin County commissioners want to change who controls the Hennepin County Crime Lab.
They want to move the management from the sheriff's office to the county administration. County commissioners met this Wednesday afternoon to discuss the matter, and reporter Sonia Goins is live with more on what they had to say. Sonia?
Mike and Alex, even before the committee meeting got started, officials with Robbinsdale and Crystal spoke out against the matter. They are concerned that the new changes could have a negative impact on how they process crimes. Meanwhile, Maple Grove Police Chief Eric Werner spoke during the meeting. He asked the board to table the matter until key issues can be examined.
The Hennepin County Crime Lab is a very busy place. Last year, more than 2,400 crime scenes were processed at the facility.
So this crime lab services 44 of the 45 cities that comprise Hennepin County.
Sheriff Rich Stanek is in charge of the crime lab, but Commissioner MARION GREENE wants to change that. She recently introduced an initiative to change who's in charge by making it part of the county administration.
It's best practice to have a separated crime lab, a crime lab that doesn't report to law enforcement and also doesn't report to prosecution. And the idea is to just have that independence.
But Hennepin County Sheriff Rich Stanek says it's a bad policy and can even hurt investigations.
This will be akin to slowing down the process in terms of response times. The Hennepin County Sheriff's Office also processes property crime DNA. There isn't another crime lab in the state that does that.
Since the county's crime lab is one of a few in the state that does DNA testing in-house for property crimes, STANEK feels changing this to an outside vendor would slow down processing times. Meanwhile, the Brooklyn Park Police Department uses the Hennepin County Crime Lab to process all of its crime scenes.
So we probably are one of the biggest users of the county crime lab unit. So I'd assume at some point they're going to come ask us or at least talk to us about how this would impact us.
Commissioner Greene says one of the reasons for the proposed change is to save taxpayers money.
Especially for Minneapolis taxpayers who are currently paying for two crime labs. Through their Hennepin County property taxes, they're paying for a county crime lab, and then through their city property taxes, they're paying for a city crime lab. Actually, suburban taxpayers will also benefit relatively immediately because both crime labs separately are contracting with the state and with other outside vendors for certain tests.
But Sheriff Rich Stanek disagrees and says the move might be political in nature. The crime lab is next to the Viking Stadium, and he thinks this might have something to do with the proposal.
Since the Viking Stadium was built, they have wanted this land. You know, for all I know, this could be just a ruse on behalf of the commissioner in order to provide that land to the Minnesota Vikings at taxpayer expense.
Commissioner Greene says that's not the case, and she looks forward to hearing from officials in the suburbs.
I really want to kind of reassure Brooklyn Park and other suburbs that we don't see any service change. This is a change in management, if you will.
After a lot of debate, they decided to postpone the vote till December 12th. There were just too many questions that couldn't be answered today. Live in Minneapolis, Sonia Goins, CCX News.
All right, Sonia, thank you very much. Well, the city of Robbinsdale has unanimously approved changes to its tobacco ordinance, changes that will limit flavored tobacco products and limit cheap cigars.
The vote Tuesday night is meant to deter youth from smoking. The new ordinance will take effect on April 1st. Robbinsdale Council member Bill Blonigan says he's a little bit sad that the city is not raising the tobacco sales age to 21. He says he would push more if neighboring cities, Crystal, Golden Valley, and Minneapolis did the same thing.
And now to some sad news. Brooklyn Park Police are mourning the loss of a fellow officer who died unexpectedly. A police spokesperson says Officer Andrew Seworth died of a medical issue while on vacation in Colorado with his family. Officer Seworth served the city of Brooklyn Park for 14 years. He is married to Brooklyn Park officer Sarah Seworth, and they have 2 children. And our condolences tonight to the Brooklyn Park Police Department. Well, now to a prominent city festival that could be on the move.
There is a proposal to move Brooklyn Park's Tater Daze to another spot in the city. Eric Nelson joins us now with more on that. Eric?
Yes, Alex and Mike, there is a chance Tater Daze will relocate to the Community Activities Center. City Council member Rich Gates likes this idea because it is the geographic center of Brooklyn Park. But Gates does not want the city to rush into a decision. He wants some issues resolved before this change of venue is approved.
It looks like they have a better plan than they did when it was first there, but I do have resident concerns. You know, it backs up and fronts two neighborhoods along 85th and Edinburgh Terrace. Staff has not, engaged with any of those residents yet.
The current location for Tater Daze has been the Noble Sports Complex, which is in northern Brooklyn Park. Tater Daze is a 3-day event that takes place in mid-June. The City Council will listen to a recommendation from the Tater Daze Committee, then most likely make a decision in January. Gates believes the community center is a good location and thinks this move could happen.
I think it'll probably end up there, but staff needs to do some serious thinking, some serious legwork as far as the community engagement process, and make sure that the layout of the band shell or any event that will create noise has been fully vetted out on how to reduce that.
Now, the Noble Sports Park site is not close to public transportation. The nearest bus stop besides the Park and Ride is 1 mile away. Meanwhile, there are 3 different public transit routes near the community center site. Mike?
All right, Eric, thank you. Well, if you're looking for a one-of-a-kind holiday gift this year, how about a street sign from the street where you grew up? Golden Valley Historical Society is once again selling old street signs that have been in use on local streets, some since the 1950s. The sign sale is nearing an end because there's only one more street restoration project before all the street signs have been replaced. The latest batch of signs came from the western part of the city, and the Golden Valley Historical Society has shipped the signs to customers all over the U.S. who want a small, sentimental piece of home.
And it's something that's dear to their heart. They lived here, they've enjoyed life here, and so they want a memorabilia.
The signs sell for $25, and you can call the Historical Society if you are interested in buying one. The Golden Valley Historical Society has sold more than 500 signs so far and raised nearly $11,000 for the nonprofit. Still ahead, we head to Maple Grove to meet one resilient standout student.
Plus, a bevy of high school hoop highlights, including a battle at the parks. That's Park Center versus St. Louis Park.
But first, not as windy, but still chilly on Thursday. We may not reach 20 degrees. Well, this week's Standout Student has an important life skill that will serve her well beyond school life.
It is part of Precious Kennedy's story at Maple Grove High School.
Over the course of this week, you are going to feel challenged, you're going to feel frustrated.
The challenges of advanced placement calculus are just the kind of things Precious Kennedy takes in stride.
I've always been a hard worker. That's just how I'm wired.
At Maple Grove High School, this senior is in the top 10% of her class with a 3.9 GPA and a rigorous schedule of college-level courses.
Be prepared to dig in.
H2 over 2 times B.
Digging in has never been a problem for Precious Kennedy. Kennedy's AP biology teacher, Todd Martin, says it's resiliency that's one of Kennedy's most precious skills.
I just think it's important to understand that resiliency is one of those characteristics and qualities that we can't really measure on paper, and that she has that in spades. She's just an excellent student.
Born and raised in Liberia, Precious moved to the United States when she was 13 years old. She joined family in Michigan, then moved to be with her dad in Minnesota. 3 different schools in less than 2 years.
It was hard. Huge culture shift.
She made an important decision to dig in and get involved with school clubs from DECA to Model UN. And she credits her AP biology teacher from 10th grade with sparking an interest in science.
I found people that I knew that could motivate me and help me, and I found things to do that would keep me going, so those help, I guess.
She's a really unique individual that can take pretty much any social circumstance and just thrive in it.
Now Precious has her sights set on a biology major for all of the possibilities it holds.
That's the beauty of it, that you can just learn something and do so many things with it.
And Precious is considering the U of M or the University of Michigan for college. Still ahead, decoding the code, how a Golden Valley school is demystifying computer science.
But first, boys basketball highlights, including the season opener for Wayzata. John Jacobson is in next.
I'm John Jacobson with sports. With a lot of good talent back, the Park Center boys basketball team should be one of the best in the area this winter. The Pirates opened up the season at home Tuesday night as they hosted St. Louis Park. First half, the Pirates' Jarius Cook passes to Emmanuel Tamba to DJ Purnell for the basket and foul to give Park Center an early 10-9 lead. But then the Orioles respond with a 10-3 run. Aiden Doherty scores over Big Dame Danger for 2, and Park leads by 6. They extend their lead a short time later. In transition, the Orioles find Jacob Houts open. He hits a 3, and the Orioles lead 34-21. But Park Center would shrink that deficit before halftime. Ahari Broadway draws a defender, gives to Purnell for another inside hoop. Pirates down just 3 at the break. Second half, the Pirates will come out strong. Purnell to Danger. Nice move in the air to get the layup. And Park Center leads by 5. The Orioles' strong outside shooting keeps them in the game. Corner 3 from Houts caps a 13-2 Park run. And the Orioles are up 6. But the Pirates would regain control and the lead. Tamba pushes the ball up, finds Cook for the layup and foul. 5 Pirate players, including Cook, scoring double figures. Park Center wins its opener over St. Louis Park, 89-80. The Wayzata boys basketball team reached the state tournament last year for the first time in over 50 years. A strong senior class graduated, but the Trojans figured to be a strong team again this winter, and they opened their season at home against Buffalo. Late first half, and it's Bison guard Matthew Willard letting fly with a 3-pointer to bring Buffalo within 2. Willard leads all scorers with 26 points. Luke Paulson drives and dumps it off. Tanner Jonas for the layup. Trojans go up by 8 at halftime, 38-30. Second half, and the Trojans, Jacob Benega lobs it to Drew Gallinson for the lay-in. Gallinson with a big second half of scoring. Tony Dahl gets the ball on the block. He scores 19 points for Buffalo, but they can't make a run and get any closer than 11 points in the second half. The Trojans really heat up from the outside. Gallinson with a 3-ball, the senior. That's 18 points to lead a balanced Trojan scoring attack. And Benninger with a 3 here, extending Wayzata's lead to 19 at 61-42. And Coach Brian Schnettler's team wins this one. Paulson will shake his defender and score 2. Wayzata wins 82-61. They'll play Woodbury Saturday at the Breakdown Sports Tip-Off Classic in Minnetonka. Also in boys basketball, Breck visited Brooklyn Center in a matchup of contenders from Section 5AA. BC's Lukai Patterson drives the ball and scores. That hoop puts the Centaurs ahead 10-2. Watch Breck's David Roddy in this sequence. He'll go up for the rebound, dribble it down court, and the 6'6 junior elevates for the dunk. Mustangs take the lead at 23-22. Breck's Jefferson Slocum nails 4 3-pointers in the first half, and this basket gives the Mustangs a 29-28 lead. The Centaurs close the half strong. Rayshawn Douglas connects on one of his 3 first-half 3-pointers. Brooklyn Center's up 6 at halftime. Early second half, Rudwan Tahir draining a 3-ball and extends Brooklyn Center's lead to 10. Fast break here leads to 2 for Patterson, and he had 26 in the game. It's 72-59 BC. Breck comes back. David Roddy with 39 points in the game. Not quite enough, though, for the Mustangs. They lose to Brooklyn Center 86-83. The Maple Grove girls hockey team is ranked number 7 in this week's Class AA poll. The Crimson look to improve to 3-1 in the Northwest Suburban Conference as they place host Andover. Giveaway by Maple Grove deep in its own end sets up the first goal of the game. Gabby Kraus scores on the one-timer from Peyton Hemp, and it's 1-0 Huskies. Then Andover gives it away, and the Crimson take advantage. Maya Martinez getting the goal. Mann and McMahon the assist. We're all tied up at 1. Still 1-1 in the third. Andover a chance to go ahead here, but Maple Grove goalie Lucy Morgan comes up with a big stop. We go to overtime. Hemp with a shot off the post for Andover. The Crimson cleared away. A short time later, Maple Grove's McMahon maneuvers her way around the defense and slides the backhander in. That's the game winner. Crimson win 2-1. They're now 5-2 on the season. A lot of great games Tuesday night. That is all for sports today. Mike and Alex, back to you.
All right, fun to watch. Thanks, John. Up next, getting kids hooked on computer science.
And we'll visit the Golden Valley School for the Hour of Code when we come back. Students all over the world are participating in Computer Science Education Week.
And the first step for students to demystify computer science is to participate in what's called an Hour of Code. Reporter Shannon Slatton explains how one Golden Valley school is getting students hooked.
You have to color these in really dark to make it work.
Students at the School of Engineering and Arts in Golden Valley are concentrating on learning a new language this week, computer coding.
If we think more and more how technology has impacted our world today and thinking about what it's going to be 5-10 years down the road, our kids need to be producers of the technology and not just consumers of it.
This focus on coding is a school-wide effort and part of a worldwide campaign called Hour of Code. It urges students to spend just an hour learning how to program a computer. Chances are students will discover it's not as tough as they thought it would be.
It's about understanding sequences and patterns and being able to relay that with confidence.
Students at all grade levels have been learning coding at this school for years. Learning concepts through games keeps coding fun and challenging.
Kind of helps us of how to code and stuff, and like if we want to make our own games, this would kind of be like a start and an extra push.
We work with our families and our greater community in helping them to understand that you don't have to know how to do this for our kids to be able to explore, because this is second nature for elementary kids and middle and high school kids too.
In Golden Valley, Shannon Slatton, CCX News.
One project fifth graders worked on this week was learning how to make their own smartphone apps. Talk about relevant learning, right, for today's.
Absolutely. I have a new computer on my desk. Maybe they could.
Yeah, looking for a little tech support. Yeah, come on over.
Yeah, right.
That does it for us. Thanks so much for joining us.
And we'll see you back here again on Thursday starting at 4.